Hi everybody. This week we celebrated St. Dominic's Day. You know why I'm telling you about that? Yep, I'm a Dominican and our flower is the sunflower. St. Dominic's Day, OP, Order of Preachers. We all preach by the way we share God's love. Heart-to-Heart Ministry is all about sharing and celebrating the preaching with joy and hope and healing and compassion. Think how you preach. And you know what? The best way to preach is to be a sunbeam of God's love. So, I have my little parable about a sunbeam called sunshine. Sundance was a little beam of light sent by the Creator to dwell here on earth. You could only see him if you had an open heart and a peace-filled spirit. He was always there for people who wanted to be peace givers. These people would see him and smile and feel his beam of light, encouraging them to be extra kind and compassionate. However, there were more times, too many to count, in the world when Sundance felt ignored, neglected, and wounded, and he wondered why he even existed. People were so busy about what they wanted or needed, they did not always see or heed the call of a need from others. It was a world very often devoid of the beam of peace and compassion that Sundance had in abundance to share. So Sundance waited and waited long days and nights with his little beam, barely surviving the selfish ways of life all around him in the world. Until one day, children with special needs and their teacher stopped to play in the park. One child picked up the little beam and smiled. He showed his classmates the beautiful beam that was shining in his hand. The boy let each of his friends hold the beam. As he passed the beam around to each friend, the little beam's light got stronger and stronger, brighter and brighter. The children felt so peaceful and happy as they held the little beam. The boy showed the teacher the beam, and she too held the beam in her hand and felt the deep warmth of a loving glow. The teacher looked at her students who were so happy and said, "What shall we do with this beautiful beam?" The children looked at each other with wonder, and the boy who first had found the beam said, "Let's leave it here in the park so many children and people can hold it and feel the warmth of its beautiful glow." And they did just that. As the children and the teacher went on their way back to school, their hearts were all aglow, filled with goodness and kindness. The little beam called Sundance was smiling as he realized that the gift of these children with special needs was the simple appreciation of how the little beam of kindness and peace made them feel so happy. It also brought inner peace to the little beam, knowing that he would for sure meet other people who would see and feel his beam as a gift and a wonderful blessing to share in their lives. The little beam looked up to the Creator's eternal home and thanked the loving Creator for sending him to dwell here on earth. The little beam named Sundance made a difference after all. Now, the lesson of this parable is to believe that our efforts to be peace givers and compassionate hearts will be found in the humility of giving graciously and generously the little gifts of kindness, hope, peace, and love to each other every day. You might also discover that those who recognize the beam and care for it and share it with others are truly the ones with the greatest treasure of all, caring for the humanity of each other and seeing the Creator's love in everyone. Isn't that what peace and compassion are all about? Remember, you can't have one without the other. So don't underestimate that your small beam of love, peace, and justice can make a wonderful difference just where you are. Now, let's take it. I was inspired to write this parable thinking of my wonderful years as a special education teacher for the mentally challenged. My students were beams of love for me. They inspired me to be a kind and compassionate person. I thank my Creator every day for those beams of love dwelling in my classroom. You see, they remain in my heart forever. Remember, St. Francis said, "A single sunbeam is enough to drive away the many shadows of life." So you and I, let's be a sunbeam, a glimmer, a glow, A beacon, a ray, a twinkle, a flicker, a flare, a dazzle, a sparkle, a brilliance, a light. Or perhaps a little feather left on the ground of a little angel being called Sundance. Read that in the book. Peace and compassion. Happy St. Dominic's week to everybody.